Hello everyone, today we're going to be looking at some strategy for the Castles of Burgundy. We'll be looking at the replays of the rank 1 player Pistol Star. Just for reference, I'm just currently in the top 1000. Before we start looking at the replays, I wanted to share some posts I found from Pistol Star himself. On this strategy post on the Castles of Burgundy Board Game Geek forum from about 3 years ago, there's some useful information going over some of Pistol Star's games and his statistics. And about halfway down the page, Pistol Star starts replying to the thread himself. And it feels like it's a treasure trove of information in here because there's just so much depth and it seems like very few people have actually read this. So I highly recommend everyone checking it out. I'll leave a link to this thread in the description of this video. And if we just quickly look at Pistol Star's statistics on Board Game Arena, there were two stats I found interesting, being first that he takes more workers than the average player, 5.39 versus 4.5 for the average winner. And he also sells goods a lot more, about 1.5 more goods sold on average per game. That's actions to sell goods, not goods themselves. So the first replay we're going to look at, Pistol Star wins by about 50 points. There's quite a big ELO difference between the players, but this is by no means a weak player. This is someone that's higher ranked than me, which is not saying a whole lot, but getting to 400 ELO is not an easy feat, so I'm interested to see how he does it. We have board number 5, and Pistol Star is the first player. On board number 5, in the forum post, he talked about how important the castles were on this map, because they're all in the central spots of the board. He also said having the first player advantage is not as important because you can go for nearly anything on this board. Like, the buildings are strong, the animals are strong. It's hard to block your opponent. But the basic strategy for all boards is that castles, mines, and ships are strong. He places in the bottom right part of the map, close to the single mine, which is good, close to the small area of ships. On the board we have 2 ships, castle, a mine, and 2 boarding houses. That is a beige tile that he likes to prioritize a lot. So with this 6, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the boarding house. With the 3, I'm not sure. So he decides to take the boarding house and the ship. I think the ship is a good move because it directly blocks his opponent's 4 roll, but I expect he probably would have taken it anyway. His opponent sells a good and buys a yellow tile from the black market. Lets him change the dice result on any tile grab from the main board. That's pretty good. I'm not sure it's that strong of an opening move though. He's left the mine wide open. I expect that'll be taken. Let's see. So he places the boarding house and grabs the mine. I think Pistol Star's off to a very good start so far. Opponent grabs the other ship and a carpenter's workshop. I know that he's not really a fan of this beige building in particular. With these 2 rolls, I think it's a pretty clear castle grab and possibly placing the ship. That's what he does, and probably grabbing the 1 good makes sense. The opponent takes workers and another yellow tile. This is the tile that lets him grab 2 bays of goods when placing a ship, which is also quite strong, I believe. 5 and a 1 for the next round. I think placing the castle's a fairly obvious move. I'm not sure what he's going to do with the free action though. He places the castle, grabs the market from the number 3 spot, and places it directly on the board to grab the sheep. opponent grabs some more yellow tiles to finish off this area. 4 and a 3 are nearly perfect rolls. This is the last stage of the last round of stage A. So placing the mine and the sheep seem like really strong moves. One thing that Pistol Star said in 90% of his games is when going into the next round, he tries to empty his 3 tiles and make sure to have 2 workers and 2 gold. This lets him get the best tile from the middle, as well as have space for 2 of the best tiles from the board. So the opponent places his ship to get first player into the second stage. There wasn't much that could have been done about that. And here with a 1 and a 5, I would just be taking the mine and the castle if I was the opponent. Even placing the castle, even better. So grabbing a ship and placing a ship, that gives him first player back again. And now with a 1 and a 5, I'd be looking at taking the 1 ship, with a 5 possibly taking this yellow tile because he already has a marker, so it's at minimum 4 points. And of course buying a nice yellow tile from the middle. There's also a boarding house in the middle, so it's worth noting that he prioritized getting this yellow tile over the boarding house, but I think that's fair. This seems like it would be worth a lot of points in the end. He grabs those. So if we look at the boards now, Pistol Star is currently 50 points to 27 points, but they've both got a mine each, they've both got a castle each. Pistol Star has the ship lead going into the next round. That can't be overtaken now. There's only 1 ship left on the board. And he's got some nice yellow tiles. His opponent will be able to save a lot of workers with this tile and grab extra goods. But I think Pistol Star's already in a unlosable position nearly from this spot. Opponent places their tiles and grabs a bank. With a 2 and a 3 here, I'd just be placing tiles. Need to clear out his hand. Okay, he takes the opportunity to grab the sheep. So I think that's an interesting thing to note. At the sort of more towards the beginning of a round, you want to be grabbing the best tiles off the board and then placing them with your last actions, because the best tiles on the board won't stay there forever and you need to grab them while they're there. So that's something I missed. Opponent grabs and places some animals. A 4 and a 5 here. I'd definitely be looking at placing this yellow tile down. And with the 5, this could be an opportunity to take workers or sell goods. Let's see. So he places the yellow tile and takes workers. I think that's reasonable. There's going to be 2 actions left for him. So I think he'll either place both of these or place one and sell some goods. Opponent places the bank and takes the marker from the main board. And Pistol Star places both his tiles. That's fair. Completes this yellow region. He's still first player going to the next round. He'll only have 1 coin, but he'll have his 2 workers. On the last action, the opponent grabbed a ship and got in place a watchtower. So at the start of stage C, there seem to be a lot of options on the board here. So obviously a castle is very important, but it's going to take 2 workers to get minimum. The mine he can get straight away. There's also 3 ships on the board and he's only got 1 coin. He prioritizes getting the mine, no workers spent, that's fair. And selling some goods to get a ship from the middle of the board. Okay, so he still keeps his 2 workers going to the next round. This is where it's tough in his opponent's spot, because you obviously want to be grabbing these strong tiles at the start of the round, but he's already got 2 of his slots filled. So if you spend the start of a round placing, you're leaving the best tiles on the board for your opponent. But the opponent does manage to have a really good move, grabbing a castle, placing the market, and then grabbing another ship tile. So that's a lot of the board that's been cleared out. Because of that, I'm sure Pistol Star will grab the last ship tile just to ensure he retains the ship lead and also complete this 3 region of ships. So that's one of the 3s. The other must be placing a ship just to use a 3 without using workers. That is what happens. He grabs a stack of 2. So the opponent sells some goods and places a bank down. A 4 and a 3 is interesting here. There is a market on the board, which is a 4-point building for Pistol Star, because he's already got this yellow tile. It would also let him grab one of these animals. Do you mind? There is also a boarding house on the 3. So it's a question of whether he wants the 4 points or the 4 workers, I suppose. Guess a deciding factor in that could be that his opponent has rolled double 3s as well, so taking the boarding house away might be a better call. That's what he does, and he places the mine. Opponent has a big move, places a ship, takes some goods, buys a bank from the middle, and takes a yellow tile. So we have 4 actions left in stage C. Placing these 2 would be high priority. Potentially taking the market from the main board's a priority. Would also be a good time to sell some goods with this 1 and 2. So let's see. He sells the goods just in time to place the ship and grab more goods. Opponent takes some more workers and places a tile. The score difference has closed up a bit, but there's about to be big points coming in, especially as Pistol Star is first player into the last 2 rounds most likely. This is what I love about his gameplay. There's so many options for what to do, and he makes it look so easy. So he can place the boarding house, he can sell goods, he could take the market. There's just so many options. It seems like he never has a bad roll of the dice, which I'm sure is not due to luck, it's due to good planning. He takes the market and places the boarding house. I think it would be very easy to also get caught up into feeling like you have to place the boarding house here in this one area. But he doesn't care, he just places where the dice tells him to. His opponent adds a bank and takes a watchtower from the main board. So we are in stage D, and the opening is a 5 and a 2. This seems perfect for a castle and a mine, especially taking the castle, placing the castle, and then being able to grab a tile from the center as well. This yellow tile, 1 point for each sold goods, seems extremely strong. That is the move after some undoing. Another reason why being the first player is so important The opponent rolled a 2 and a 5 as well, and now they're just left with very sad choices. 6 and a 6. Seems like a perfect time to place the market and grab his last ship. 6 could also be used to place this yellow tile in the middle. Decides to place the mine instead. I find that interesting. So that's cost 1 worker, but it's left him choices to place the yellow tile later on multiple different numbers. So that's an interesting trade-off to take note of. He spent 1 worker there to potentially save more in the future when placing the yellow tile. There are also 2 lots of sheep on the board. Seems like it's going to be impossible to deny both of them. That's going to fill up this green area nicely. The opponent's nearly filled out their yellow tiles. 5 and a 3 here. So there are multiple options. I'd be tempted at getting this market for another 4 points and possibly placing it to grab the sheep, but there's no rush on the sheep. So the 3 could be used to place the last ship instead. Okay, instead of that, he decides to sell some goods and place his ship, so he has the perfect amount of room to grab more goods. The opponent's now very close to finishing their yellow section, and they've got another town hall to help them place things. They're also fairly close to finishing their beige section. A 4 and a 1 could be good opportunity to grab the sheep and place them, or potentially sell both these goods. They both seem like good options to me. Okay, places the sheep. I guess that is a higher priority than selling goods. That makes sense, there's only 2 moves left in the round. He decides to add the yellow tile into the middle area and buy the pigs and then take workers as an action. I find that very interesting as well. So there was the option to place the yellow tile here on the 2, which would have completed a region. But I guess he feels like he's guaranteed to get 2 yellow tiles from the last round, as his opponent has completed all the yellow tiles. So completing a region of 3 is more important than completing a region of 1 and leaving this unfinished. Taking the pigs is just a smart move going to the last round. It's a minimum 8-point action for him because he already has his yellow tile for different animal types. Opponent places a ship and sells some goods, and we are now into the last round, starting off with double 1s. I think for sure grabbing the castle is the right move, securing the last one, that'll get him the bonus, and allow him to take anything. There's also some more pigs, and there's some cows. So cows are also strong, that's the 3rd animal type he needs. And there's also another market on the board, so he can use the market to grab an animal tile. That's another way of doing it. So he bought the town hall from the middle, placed the town hall, grabbed the castle, placed the castle with the town hall ability, and used the castle ability to grab the cows. Okay, that's clean. So the opponent secures the last beige building they need to complete their region, which is fair enough. They also grab a mine from the middle. 5 and 5 is a roll I would struggle with here, because there don't seem to be many good options. I guess we still need the market, but that's going to cost 3 workers during this sequence. Could also just grab the yellow tile and place it. It's not worth any points by itself, but it could finish the region. That seems like a lot of moves to spend on few points. He does grab and place the market and get the pigs. So now he's got 6 actions left to ideally sell 3 sets of goods and place 3 animals. Let's see if he can achieve all that. Opponent places a mine and grabs the ship. 1 and 3, this seems like a pretty good start. Placing animals and taking workers, that makes sense. Still 4 actions. 4 actions to do 5 things, but selling this 6 is probably not as high of a priority. Opponent places a ship and grabs a whole lot of goods. 6 and a 3, this has to be nearly perfect. Just place both animals. Yep, secure those points. Your opponent finishes their beige section and their mines, so that's a pretty nice set of moves for them. At the moment they're still 40 points behind. 4 and a 2 is the last 2 actions. That seems to me just sell and sell. Yep. And the opponent does the same. So wow, 198 points during the game, and then still manages to get 36 points from yellow tiles. And that's only 3 yellow tiles. So this is obviously a 12.1. The animals are a 12.1 and the markets are a 12.1. So instead of filling in the whole region, he's just picked specific yellow tiles and just worked towards them. Being first player in nearly every stage helped him grab the best yellow tiles, which he seems to prioritize quite highly. Just overall very solid gameplay and a lot to learn from. On to the second game. This one he wins by quite a close margin against a very strong player, over 500 ELO. We have board 7 and he is the second player. So the first game, Pistol Star managed to complete the ships, the mines and the castles first. He managed to retain first player nearly the whole way through the game. So let's see what happens when he has to play from second position and how he pulls out a close win. For starting position, I think surely this has to be the only choice. You want to be near the mine and the water. I don't really see how starting up here would be that good, but let's see. Yeah, they both start down there. So a 2 and a 6 from the opponent, 6 and 5 from Pistol Star. Oh, and interesting to note, 3 ships in the middle. That's... I've never seen that before. Wow. So if I was the opponent, I would be looking to grab the castle. That seems like an obvious first move with the 2. With the 6, you'd potentially place the castle and grab the mine. Or just grab the mine and save the castle for later. That's exactly what they do. That makes sense. First 2 moves, grabbing both ships. I like that a lot. That'll guarantee completes this region, gets first play going to the next round. It's nearly impossible to buy 2 ships from here in the first round. He would take way too many selling actions. There is a bank on the board though, so that's worth noting. 2 and a 3 from the opponent. Placing the mine and grabbing a watchtower. Watchtower seems like not a great opening choice. I would have expected potentially taking workers instead of that, but I guess they do have to get started on this middle region. 6 and a 5 again from Pistol Star. Grabs a yellow tile and takes some workers. So this is placing a castle, yellow tile, or mine. You get to change the result. That could be fairly handy. Also the potential of finishing this yellow region in the first round if he manages to grab this, if he even wants this, I'm not sure. So the opponent places the watchtower, sells some goods and buys a ship. Looks like Pistol Star is placing a ship with the 1, that makes sense. With the 6. I would almost be tempted to take more workers here. I don't know if he'll take the church or not, but maybe. Okay, takes the church. That does make some sense going into the next round. Easy to grab a mine or a castle with it. He's now the first player after placing the ship. With a 5 and a 4. 5 seems like a good time to place the yellow tile. 4 potentially buying a bank, getting a bank, but it's going to leave him with a lot of tiles. I know he doesn't like to do that, so he may just sell goods. Does get the bank. He has only 2 moves left, so I'd say 100% he's going to try to place 2 of these tiles. Opponent places a ship and sells some goods. Sells some more goods and buys a ship and takes some workers. Pistol Star with the 3 places the ship. Makes sense. Retain first player. Putting the bank in the middle is an option, but I highly doubt he's going to commit to this middle section. Could just be selling this whole stack of goods. That makes the most sense to me. No, does place the bank. Okay. Six and a 1. Priority would have to go to getting this castle and placing it somehow. Can't place it yet. Could place the church. Okay, place the church, grab the castle, place the castle, grab the mine. That looks like a good play. Also 2 ships, and I'm sure he's going to want one of them. But he'll probably need both to retain start player into the next round. That's not going to happen. That's completely different from what I expected. So it does prioritize getting the ship, possibly to block the opponent's 1 as well. There is a boarding house there, so it's not really a block. Grabs the mine. I think the mine is obvious. Buys a boarding house from the middle. I suppose his thinking is the opponent's not going to go for the castle because it's way too far away to place this round. That's something I did not consider. So the rush on the castle might not be as great as I anticipated. The opponent grabs a market, places the ship, gets first player back, so they should be able to place their market and grab a ship. They place the town hall as well, just to... So now there is a threat of the castle going. Placing the boarding house would seem like a strong move, as well as grabbing the castle. Placing the mine is also free because of this tile. That's fair. With the 5. Grabbing yellow tile 3. When you sell goods, you get 2 coins. Interesting. So it's a strong yellow tile to get early. I know that he mentioned in stages 1 and 2 the economy yellow tiles can be quite strong. This is one of the strong ones. I suppose getting this yellow tile is also important to connect to these ships. Without that, it's very hard to connect to them. And also going for this area seems almost mandatory given how connected everything is to it. One of the things that he talked about was trying to reach all parts of your board quite early, and going through the middle seems like the only option to do that, so that's a good prioritization from him that I missed. My first initial thought was he's going to ignore the middle and just go around the outside, but that might just be too slow and too awkward with the numbers. The good thing for Pistol Star is though that he will be almost guaranteed going first into the next round because he is currently the last player and they have 1 ship each. So he'll always be able to place his ship last and overtake. I think this castle should be grabbed soon though. It does get taken away from him. So he places the yellow tile with a 3. I expect to place the boarding house here. It seems to connect everything up. Five and a 6 for the opponent. This just seems like a perfect time to place animals and castle. Place animals and grab a warehouse. Okay. That is a unique building that he needs for the middle. Using a 5 to sell goods and a 2 to... Oh, that would have been a good castle grab. I don't foresee him grabbing this. Could just be selling more goods. Oh, and does. Just decides to sell and grab the town hall instead, okay? There's still a boarding house on number 1, which I find very interesting. I thought that would have been grabbed a lot earlier. Alright, so last 2 actions. One of these is going to be on a ship 100%. The other 6 could be to grab some sheep if they don't get taken first. Over here, this seems like a tricky position for the opponent because they don't need to place their castle yet, but they need to clear this area out. Placing the warehouse, selling some goods, and grabbing the boarding house up. Yeah, grabbing the boarding house. So this is going to be a very awkward next round for the opponent. I think this is where Pistol Star might start to get ahead, because he's going to have free reign of the best tiles for nearly the first 2 rounds, because his opponent won't be able to grab any. They'll be able to grab 1 when placing the castle if they can. They don't have any workers either. So grabbing the sheep and placing the ship, if that makes sense. It makes sense, you don't need to undo. Okay, so we found a better sequence of moves actually by thinking about it more. placing the town hall, grabbing a market, placing the town hall, and then placing the ship while still grabbing the sheep with the market. That's a good sequence. There's just a huge difference between their boards right now. Having 5 workers and 2 coins with our first player. Opponents rolled a 2 and a 6. That doesn't really seem like it can be used to do much. Placing the boarding, okay. Opponent can place the boarding house and place the castle. That seems like their best sequence. With a 6 and a 5. Taking the mine seems like an obvious choice, and then maybe just spending workers to grab the castle. I'm not sure how much he's going to prioritize this yellow tile actually. It could be important for filling this middle bit, but he's already got quite a bit of the way there. Let's see. Grab some chickens from the middle. Okay, that's important to deny the chickens from the opponent. That's quite high scoring. No one does. Grabs the ship and the mine instead. Okay, the opponent places the boarding house and then just places the ship instead. That makes sense. They have the first action now. They can more easily play their castle and grab some tiles. So I expect they would grab their castle, play their castle and grab the other castle. But they also do need to grab a ship as well. They grab the castle, as expected. They grab a carpenter's workshop from the middle. Okay, that's fair. They definitely want to complete this middle bit. I don't know how urgent a priority this really is though. I'm questioning that move. So a 4 and a 4 for Pistol Star. Placing the ship seems obvious. So, okay, selling the goods makes sense to grab some more goods to place the ship, yes. It gets him first player again. Grabbing the ship seems obvious here. He's not that close to placing it, but this will ensure that he keeps first player. With the 3... The 3 could be selling goods, the 3 could be just placing the mine. I like both of them. So the ship is obvious, placing the mine, okay. And now buying the chickens. So he undid his previous move a few times and now he's buying the chickens. Opponent places their castle, places the carpenter's workshop and grabs 2 beige tiles. So they're now guaranteed to fill in their middle section. And they have an extra warehouse to sell goods with. 5 and a 3. So we must start placing the animal tiles. Maybe place and grab some more animals. So buys yellow tile 14 from the middle. Whenever you take workers you get 4 instead of 2. That's an interesting priority at near the end of stage C. And places it straight away. He doesn't need to place the ship, but would like to get rid of some tiles from his hand, I'm sure. 5 and a 5 from the opponent. Obviously doesn't need this yellow tile anymore. Could look to take some animals or to start clearing his hand. Takes the yellow tile there. I'm shocked by that. I guess the play to deny Pistol Star the yellow tile for his central region. But there's no way that he still needs it. He's completed his central region. That seems like an odd move to me. 5 and a 1 to finish the round. Placing the chicken seems like an obvious move for the 5. For the 1, could honestly grab the church. He still needs it. No, he's already got a church there, so no. 1 could just be selling goods. 1 could also be taking workers. They're now four workers at a time. Okay, selling goods and getting this yellow tile and probably placing it then. Okay, that makes sense. So going to the next round, he'll have 2 workers, 2 coins, but only 1 space available to grab a tile. So that means he really prioritized completing this yellow region before clearing out his hand. That could also be some handy points with all the animals that he's going to place. 1 and a 5. This should probably just be, I guess, grabbing workers, possibly placing 1 of these. Yeah, grab some workers and places. 2 and a 4 to start. So there doesn't appear to be a rush on the ships. Actually, I guess securing 1 of these ships is very important to make sure that he finishes first, and his first play going to the last round. So grabbing the one of the ships seems important, and then probably just placing the chickens and buying a tile. There's also the castle there. That could be placed as part of the move. That seems quite good. Taking a castle, placing it, buying a castle, placing something else. Okay, so after a lot of undoing, he decides to place the chickens, buy a mine from the middle, and grab a ship. I think that does make the most sense. So grabbing the mine ensures the region's complete first. Grabbing the ship is obvious to complete the region and retain start first player. There's actually no rush on the castles because all these are complete. So opponent grabs this yellow tile for the markets. This yellow tile actually does come in handy, allowing to place markets next to each other. Important to note there's also another market on the board. That is something that Pistol Star does still need, but looks like he won't be able to get it in time, we'll see. Oh, there's still these castle plays. So he decides to place a ship, that makes sense, and grab some animals. The opponent takes the mine and places the yellow tile. Okay. A 2 and a 4 here. So there are many options. 2 can be used to place the mine. I feel like that nearly has to be done. There's also this yellow tile here that looks quite nice. That's probably going to be a 8-point tile, I'd say. It's going to finish castles, mines, ships, yellow, maybe animals, so potentially even 10-point tile. Places the mine, that makes sense. With the 4. Carpenter's Workshop. I'm not sure at this stage if he still plans on completing in the middle or he's given up on it because he's running out of time. Okay, he undoes his move, decides to sell some goods as well. Sell some goods instead. Undoes again. Sells them again. And just takes workers. Okay. 4 and a 5, opponent places the mine, places the church, and gets this nice yellow tile. I like that. Opponent's ahead by 16 points at the moment, so it's still a very close game, but there's still quite a few points incoming for placing this mine and placing these pigs and finishing the ships, so there are a lot of points incoming here. A 1 and a 1, and there are 4 actions left in the round. Placing the pigs looks to make sense. Potentially buying a castle from the middle and placing it makes sense as well. So it places the mine. Okay, yes, I keep forgetting that this is allowing you to adjust the workers, so the mine and the pigs are the same basically. So yes, it makes sense to place the mine. Now placing the castle makes sense. Grabbing more pigs out of the middle, so the pigs might be going along here. 2 actions left in the round. I think one of them would have to be grabbing the castle. So let's see how he does it. Opponent grabs and places the carpenter's workshop and gets another market for them. They're nearly completed their beige section. Their yellow tile for markets will be worth 12 points. 4 and a 4. Just places the pigs and places the ship. So now I wonder if there will be 2 castles going into the last round or not, because he's not getting that one. 6 and a 1 for the opponent. Probably just placing some more tiles. Yeah, placing and placing, but they have no workers. They're sort of relying on dice rolls now. Having 3 workers is very good at this stage. So there are 2 castles. I wonder if that is actually just luck, or he's worked out that there will be a castle here. I'm not 100% sure, but that's good either way. So you can probably buy this castle and place it. That's what I would be looking to do. Doesn't need the mine. It's an interesting yellow tile. There's a lot of carpenter's workshops in this round. This one is for the town hall. He's got 1 of them. But probably needs to secure 2 of these animals as well. So he might just do that first. Buys an animal from the middle. No, undoes. Buys again. Yeah, so it just secures all the animals. I think that's a smart play. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he's gone 28 points ahead, and it doesn't really look like there's many points coming in for his opponent. Grabs the yellow tile, grabs the carpenter's workshop. That secures all the beige buildings and a nice scoring yellow tile. That's another 12-point yellow tile, so there are some points still there. 2 and a 5 here. Surely we're at the stage where we're getting the castle now. Yes. Placing it on the 4 over the 5. So it's obviously the same with this. I'm trying to figure out the reason. I guess having the 5 open is more different from the 1 and the 3 and the 6, so it's just spreading the numbers a bit more. And with this, maybe sell a good and get the last castle. Maybe just place one of the animals. Okay, sells a good, gets the last castle. I like that. Two and a 6, opponent places and sells some goods. 2 and a 6 for pistol style. Can obviously place the castle with the 6. That doesn't cost any workers. Does that. Uses the extra action to grab a yellow tile. Okay, that is a 4-point yellow tile for him. Uses the 2 to place some animals. There'll be 4 actions left. He wants to place the animal, place the yellow tile, and question mark. Probably sell some goods. Two and a 3 seems like placing the animals is obvious. And a 2, maybe take workers. Of course, he can just place it. He can change the die result. I keep forgetting about it. A 5 and a 4 to finish off the game. That seems like taking workers and selling goods is the best option, or maybe just taking workers twice. No, I think selling goods must be better. Yeah. And wins by 8 points. So the opponent got a lot of points on the yellow tiles, but Pistol Starter's got more points during the game, mostly from animals actually. So I think a couple of interesting things to note from this game. He decided to go up the middle in the central area, but not commit to completing it. I think that's a trap a lot of people would fall into, feeling like they have to complete it. But obviously things just didn't line up for him. There wasn't as high a priority on the castles as I thought there would be. I'm not sure if that was a good thing or not, but he focused on getting other things first, like the ships and the animals. Animals obviously needed to connect these castles, but still in this game, the same as last game, he finished the ships first, finished the mines first, didn't finish the castles first, but the opponent was a bit stronger, so made sure to focus on that, take them away. And finishing the ship first means he was first player for nearly all the rounds, I think, except for one or maybe 2. So hopefully this was educational. It definitely has been for me. Make sure to check out Pistol Star's work because it's very in-depth and detailed and should help. Thanks for watching.